Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. So inshallah now we have a recap of lesson 17. Sorry, we have a recap of Ilm al-Ma'ani. Okay. So inshallah we have a recap of Ilm al-Ma'ani. But Ilm al-Ma'ani, if you have a look at it, what is it made up of? Part of a sentence, meaning musnad or musnad ilay. Then we discuss, well, what kind of sentence is it? Is it ismiyah, fa'liyah? Then the order of the musnad, musnad ilay, mubtada, khabar, fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul, when you bring it first, when you bring it afterwards, we discuss that. Ma'rifah, nakirah, the details of ma'rifah, nakirah, how they affect the meaning. How do you create restriction? Qasr. Fasl, wasl, where you don't bring waw, where you bring waw. Then length of speech, when you have a long kalam, when you have itnab, when you have it short, when you have it long itnab, when you have a brief ijaz, and we have normal musawat. All of these things we discuss in discussion number 7. And then the end is a few miscellaneous rules we discuss at the end. Okay? Now, so these are the main headings we have. So if you look at it, the 8 things we go into each one individually. So first one is parts of a sentence. So what are the parts of a sentence? Musnad ilay and musnad. And you have quyud. Correct? So musnad ilay, musnad and quyud. The musnad ilay is either the fa'il or the mubtada. And the musnad is, so not fa'il, fa'il. Fa'il or mubtada. And the musnad is either fa'il or khabar. And the rest all what? Quyud. Maf'ul bihi, mutlaq lahu, maf'ul fi, maf'ul ma'hu, had, tamiz, mustasna, nawasikh, shart and nafi. All of these things come under the quyud. Yeah? That's first section then. Then we are on to types of sentences. And there we have what? Jumlatun ismi, khbariya, jumla insha'iyya. And jumla khbariya have ismiya, and you have fa'liya. And insha'iyya have amr, nahyu, istifham, tamanni, tarajjin, and nida. Those are the insha'iyya. And the jumla ismiya, what jumla ismiya do? It gives thubut. Thubut can be in the past, it can be in the present, or it can be in the future. And the present can be a simple link, it can have dawam, a long term. So, Zaydun qa'imun, he's standing, is a link. Or, long term, you can have it, alhamdulillah. Praise it for Allah, but on a long term basis. And jumla fi'liya, we have through all of the tenses. So it can be fi'l al-madi, simple past, fatah he open, and gives huduth. Or it can be mudari', and then mudari' mazi istimrari. Past continuous, kana yaftah, he was opening. That shows huduth as well, it occurred once. Or past habitual, he was or he used to. And that shows what tajaddud. Both have the same sigha, context will show you what is meant. Hal means present tense, present continuous or present habitual. And both show, this shows huduth, he is opening, and he opens, shows tajaddud, he does it over and over again. And then the mustaqbil means future, and this is shown by yaftahu, sayaftahu, yasawfa yaftah. And that can show huduth or tajaddud depending on the context. Right? And huduth means occurred once, tajaddud means it reoccurs. Right? Then we said that I have jumla khbariya and jumla insha'iyya. The two types, aren't they? Khbariya has particular usage, insha'iyya has particular usages. But sometimes what do? We swap them around. So for example, instead of using insha'iyya, we use khbariya. Instead of khbariya, we use insha'iyya. And the purposes that the reasons for this we mentioned before. Then you have al-fa'il al-madi, fa'il al-mudari. Then what do we say? For example, you can say jazakallah instead of yajzikallah. You can swap them around. Madi instead of mudari, mudari instead of madi. Correct? Then jumla insha'iyya, the amr. Amr original meaning is talabul fa'ila wa til isti'la. You seek something when you're in authority. You demand something. And it can also have secondary meanings, request, advice, dua, tamannin, taswiya, ibaha, permissibility. Then istifham. And many of these apply to nahi as well. Nahi have a similar construction. Either you are the demand, proper or request or secondary level stuff. Istifham, you have hal, these are huruf istifham. You have ma, man, mata, ayana, kaifa, aina, anna, kam, and ayyun. All of these are istifham. These are haruf al-istifham, these are asma al-istifham. And in Arabic you have one name for all, in ilm al-ma'ani, you have one name for all of them, which is called what? Adatul istifham. Because it includes huruf and asma. In Nahwa you need to separate them because for tarkib purposes. In ilm al-ma'ani, you keep it as one. Okay, istifham, the original meaning is what? When you don't know something and you want to find out about it, you say that's istifham. You don't know something, you want to seek knowledge. Secondary meaning is what? Command, prohibition, to show amazement, ta'ajjub, tashweeq, ta'azim. And all of these things were mentioned in that lesson. Okay? Then tamanni and tarajji is for desire. If desire is possible or is impossible. If it's possible, you call it tarajji, something that can happen. And tamanni, something that's impossible, it won't occur. And for tarajji, use asa or la'alla. And for tamanni, use either later, hal or law. Okay? And then we said, look, Tarajji has one particular meaning, Tamani has one particular meaning, but to play around with this, what can you do? Swap them around. Instead of Tamani, use Tarajji. Instead of Tarajji, use what? Tamani. Nida, you have Nida for close or far. For close, you use or I, but the more common one is the far one, Ya. Okay? And then you can swap them around. Somebody's close, you call them with the far particle. Somebody's far, you call them with the close particle. Make sense? So the original meaning of nida is to call somebody, but it can also be used to urge somebody, Ighra, Ya Ukhta Harun, or it can be for jesting, Ya Abat Turab, or to mock, Ya Ayyuhalladhi Nuzzila alayhi dhikr. Okay? So Jumla, Khbariya, Ismiyya Fa'liya, that shows Thubut, that shows Hudud, Tajaddud. And the purpose of this is to show weakness or information or dua, secondary meanings. And in Insha'iyya, you had Amr, command, and all of these we discussed within that lesson. Okay? Yeah? Make sense? Right. That's the second discussion finished. The third was sentence order. What's the order of the sentence? So, now you have mubtada khabar, but you can swap it around. And that will give emphasis or create ta'keed. And Jumla Fi'liya, fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul, and the rest of the qaid. And you can also swap these around. It doesn't have to come in this order. It can be changed around to show emphasis on a particular point. Ma'atuf alayhi ma'atuf, you have two of them, so you can switch it around. Make this one a ma'atuf alayhi, make that ma'atuf, to show different benefits, different ma'ani. And you have jumla, three jumlas together, you can have this one first instead. Why this particular order? Well, you might have a particular reason for bringing a particular order. Okay? That's in this order. Ma'rifah and nakira. You have ma'arif, you have a nakira. You have here the zamir, alam, ism al-Ishara, موصول, mudaf, معرف باللام. Okay? And then you have ism al-Ishara, قريب and ba'id. You can swap it around, use ba'id instead of قريب, قريب instead of ba'id. موصول, when you use موصول, when you can't describe something. You have that pen you had yesterday. I don't know its name, don't know its quality, I can't point towards it, so I just use quality. The pen you had yesterday, that pen which you had yesterday, you describe it. And sometimes you don't have to use موصول, but there's a purpose, a particular reason behind using it. The reason, the error, to show grandeur, to show insignificance, to show emphasis. And all of these things we'll discuss in that particular lesson. Ma'raf billam, the alif lam can be for ahad, can be for jins, it can be for istighraq. Ahad means that everybody's familiar with it. Jins means to show a particular type or a group or categorization. Or istighraq means to show every single part or every single fard or every single person or number or unit of that particular jins. Okay? Nakira is used as unknown. You can also use nakira to conceal something, to keep it vague, to show variety, to show grandeur. And all of these we discuss in that particular lesson. That's done. Then number 5 was restriction, which is called qasr. And the qasr can be qasr sifa al-mawsuf. The mawsuf has one, the sifa only applies to one mawsuf. For example, haqiqi, la ilaha illallah. Uluhiyya is only for Allah. Or it can be idafi. Qasr idafa, meaning relative to something else. Only these are haram, i.e. the things that you count as halal are haram. Now Allah is not talking about everything, it's relative. So what you think is halal is really what is haram. Or what you call haram is what is really halal. Or qasr mawsuf ala sifa. And this is discussed in that lesson before. Qasr mawsuf ala sifa, meaning mawsuf has one sifa. You can't get haqiqi in this. You only get idafi. And idafi ma Muhammadun illa Rasul, Muhammad is only a prophet. Obviously he has other qualities as well. But here it means that relative to being a god, he's only a prophet, he's not a god. Okay? Then fasl and wasl. Fasl is when you don't bring wow, and wasl when you bring wow. Okay? So when you bring at, wasl and fasl. Okay? When wasl when you bring a wow, we're not discussing that here. And the other things when you don't bring a wow, why do you leave the wow out even though it's two separate sentences? One is kamal ittisal, or is kamal ittisal means very, very strongly linked. Like it's a badal, it's a bayan, or it's a tawqeed. And shibul kamal ittisal is when is what? Like a question that is pending, arises. And you answer that question, that's also shibul kamal ittisal. You don't bring a wow there. Right? It's all discussed before. Right? Is it making sense? Okay? That's for the length of speech. The length of speech is either going to be average speech or long speech. Okay? Or it can be short. If it's average, you call it musawat. If it's long, you call it itnab. If it's short, you call it ijaz. Okay? And itnab can be done in many ways, which we discussed in that lesson. All of these were discussed there and then. Okay? And ijaz can be different types, qasr or hazaf. Qasr or hazaf. And that was discussed in that lesson. Okay? So we discussed. And the last thing was a few other rules were pending in between. Like for example, idmar maqam al-izhar. So instead of bringing a zamir, what do you bring? So you bring a zamir instead of bringing ism al-zahir. Or you bring ism al-zahir instead of bringing a zamir. You do iltifat. What's iltifat mean? You go from hadir to ghaib, ghaib to hazir. Or tajahul al-arif. You know something, but the speaker still pretends that he doesn't know. Okay? And that's the summary of the 8 discussions that we discussed in ilm al-ma'ani. Got it? Any questions? So obviously it's a summary. All of these rules were discussed in the individual lessons. You can refer back to the book, or you can refer back to the individual videos. But it's a summary of what has been discussed. So you get a recap, an overview of what 8 discussions or what 8 discussions and chapters came in this ilmul ma'ani. Got it? Make sense? Any questions? Subhanallah, bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.